Hello everyone, this is Krotic giving you a shoutcast in Game 3 in a best of 7 series between MouzMana and LiquidJinro here on Lost Temple. LiquidJinro spawning as the yellow Terran player on the 8 o'clock position, meanwhile Mana spawning as the blue Protoss over here at the 2 o'clock position. Most likely this game took place on the American servers and Mana had to borrow Nova's account in order to be able to play. And that is why it says Nova. Hopefully I will not read the name there. And remember that it is Mana. So game 3 in this matchup, I am looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun. I'm casting these games here. Nova, Protoss versus Terran, no Zerg versus Terran, I believe, here on Lost Temple in this particular series, or in this particular season of the Machinima Realm Invitational. I am hoping for more seasons. Just depends on the viewers and just depends on you guys. So let me know if you guys enjoy this tournament. Watch it, tell your friends. The more viewers, the better. As we now see Jinro setting up that standard 12 racks build. So it is going to be a 12 racks build and now a 13 gateway coming in. So pretty standard builds coming in. And now I do like Mana deciding to put his gateways a little bit further away from his front door. And this is one of the benefits for Protoss. You may normally say, hey, don't units normally like to be by their ramp in order to be able to go into the battle very quickly? Well, that's true, but for about 80% of the game, the Protoss gateways are actually warp gates and they can deploy anywhere in the field. So from a macro perspective, you don't need to put all your gateways right next to each other, as you can just place them on one hotkey and warp them in wherever you have pylons. Also, by the time that they do become warp gates, you actually want these buildings a little bit further in the back, out of the way, so that your robotics bay, your stargates are able to train up units very, very easily and have them walk out relatively quickly. We now see one probe making its way across the map, and now in comes a Marine, but the Marine simply walks past the probe, and the probe is going to be able to see as much as he wants to in this space, able to come around, able to just dodge around as that Marine trying to dance back and forth, just playing ring around that one refinery or one Vespene geyser over there, as that Marine now trying to give chase, but a new Marine comes out, and Jinro getting that second Marine, taking out that scouting probe, was very, very critical, as that probe would not be able to harvest any more minerals. New SCV. Oh, the SCV walked inside and did not see a thing. Oh, that was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. MouzMana, by placing all of his gateways so far in the back and also getting that assimilator there, really the SCV is just going to be absolutely confused. If he had actually gained sight on this mineral patch and clicked on it, he would have known where exactly Mana was. But now I just believe that Jinro is going to be completely scratching his head, not quite sure what's happening. He's going to go across, perhaps back over here, and try to figure out where exactly his opponent has in fact spawned. He's trying to look at all the locations and realize that he didn't scout out here, and he did not scout out here either. So Mana going to have a little bit of a scouting advantage, as Jinro now getting a reactor onto that barracks. Early reactor is very, very strong against Protoss, as it slows down Immortals and it slows down Void Rays by the training of those Marines. We now see a factory currently training up some more Hellions and a starport, so this will be the 1-1-1 build, one barracks into one factory into one starport. And at some point, a tech lab should be placed down, enabling a further array of units. We'll see how that's all going to really work out, as a probe now activating this one Zonaga watchtower and this SCV. All it's really going to be able to do is simply fall and die to the blades of those zealots. Stalkers, however, now trying to catch up to that one SCV. It looks as though that SCV may be able to come in and, quickly getting stuck in between two zealots, and down it goes. We now see that there is a robotics facility in play and another gateway. So this is going to be a 2-gate with a robotics facility. As this one observer now makes its way out across the map, the Hellion now trying to simply walk up and was able to squeeze in between those two zealots. The zealots on a hold position, sleeping at the con, as the Hellion now just be able to just run around on the backside here, trying to get as much sight as possible. I believe he is going to be stuck, but no, able to come in and sneak through there, and now that one stalker will finally be able to get that last hit and take down that Hellion. There is an observer on the way over and will be able to come into this position here. We now see that Jinro is currently trying to get this one Banshee into the air. No, sorry, not Banshee, this one Raven into the air in order to reveal this observer. The observer pretty much scouting out everything it wants to, and that is going to be very, very dangerous position for it to be, as soon as that Raven comes out, that Raven, it will be able to spot that one observer. The observer trying to run away, trying to make sure that it does not get taken down, and the observer flying off to the north will be able to come back and scout again. So the observer quickly checking, he does see that the command center is now being built on the high ground here. And how will Mana respond? Mana does have a decent sized army at this time, with also some immortals, some sentries popping out. He would be able to put in a little bit of pressure, as there are not going to be too many units coming out from Jinro for a little bit, as Jinro did spend the minerals on this command center over here. The one observer still wandering around, still able to get as much sight as he wants to, as there is also a Banshee coming in. I do not see cloaking research though, as the supply depot has just been finished. Jinro has been supply locked a couple times, and this one observer, gonna be in trouble if it gets too close. It looks as though the observer trying to run away. The Raven may even just decide to drop down one auto turret in front of it in order to shoot it down. Is it gonna work? We do see one Marine now coming over. The Marine getting a couple of hot hits underneath it, and I believe that observer's days are, no, down to 4 hit points. There's the auto turret, and down it goes. So yeah, that Marine unable to get the kill. I believe the Raven, yes, the Raven does get the kill, even though it is the auto turret that really gets the kill. Anyways, back to this game. We now have sentries, immortals, and zealots with one stalker, and this army may be able to move out pretty effectively. The unit combination coming in is pretty Marine intensive with 17 Marines. Those Guardian shields are going to be absolutely critical in trying to absorb and reduce the amount of damage that those Marines are able to do. We do see one Banshee currently in the air, and we are also getting the cloaking research, so that may become a little bit of a problem, as there's only one observer, and if that observer gets sniped down by that Raven and the Marines, that Banshee will be able to have its way with the rest of the stalkers, zealots, sentries, and immortals. The observer now on its way over. This is part of patch 1.1.3. So the observer does cost 25 minerals and 25 gas more than in patch 1.2. For a total of 50 minerals and 100 gas. So that is still a very expensive unit. The Banshee now coming over here, getting 2 quick kills. No cloaking on that Banshee yet though, as the cloaking research is almost completed. The Banshee just hiding itself over in this location, and now we are going into a medevac and Blue Flame Hellions. So medevac, Blue Flame Hellions should have a drop and a Banshee harassment at the same time. In comes this Banshee. Banshee trying to get some quick kills, trying to park itself on that ledge over there. Will it be able to start cloaking? Oh, very nice, getting off a quick hit there, and now in comes that cloak, and I do not see an observer anywhere nearby, as this Banshee is just going to continue to rack up even more kills. We do see one observer there from Nova's, Mana's observer is currently out of position. Production is trying to train up another observer, and I believe it is chrono boosted. Yes, it is currently being chrono boosted there, as the one Banshee now makes its way into the mineral patch over here. The Banshee's days are numbered, as that observer will be popping out in just a moment. But the Banshee will be able to get perhaps into the 10 kill, perhaps even the 12 kill range, trying to rack up even more and more kills, now trying to fly away slowly from that robotics facility, and the Banshee will live to fight another day. As it backs out, it should most likely decloak. Very, very difficult to keep track of a Banshee on the very, very far edge like that. Banshee still hugging onto that top corner over there, and now being forced to pull back as the observer is able to spot it. The observer coming in from Mana, now trying to look at the front door, will quickly see a nice wall over here, and that wall will prevent any of those zealots from getting any serious damage into or onto these buildings. Army-wise, 2150 versus 1950, as we're also getting a missile turret. So these siege tanks do not have to worry too much about stalkers, as any observer that is nearby will quickly be revealed by this missile turret, be detected, and perhaps be shot down. This one medevac, however, doesn't have anything, and now the Hellions on the way over. I believe another Hellion should currently being trained. Yeah, more Hellions still being trained out of here. A very, very factory-heavy build now, as the Raven nearly maxed out on energy. I believe this will end up being an elevator drop into the base. One Marine now trying to make its way out, as well as we also have some Marines trying to move out in order to do some scouting. The destructible rocks have been cleared at the gold minerals, so Perhaps Mana will be trying to take up a third base in just a moment. One Marine scouting out over here, and now in comes that Hellion drop. The Hellion elevator drop now trying to come in, however, going to quickly find itself, not able to deal all too much damage, able to get off a couple of quick probe kills as another Hellion tries to come in over here. I believe this Hellion already has still at 2 kills. Perhaps we'll be able to get one more. Yes, able to get 3 kills, but that is it. And now a fresh Banshee coming back in, having a decent amount of energy, trying to push out. We'll be able to rack up even more kills, up to 14 kills, 15 kills already. Where is that Observer? Observer is in play, and down it goes. So very, very heavy Stalker army coming in from Mana. And taking a look at the production, it doesn't look like that many Marauders are being trained. We now see double medevacs coming in from Jinro. So Jinro will drop in 2 siege tanks with Marines as support, but it catches a phase prism as well, trying to drop Zealots. So who will be able to be more effective with that drop? This Banshee now trying to pull back over here. This one Warp Prism over here will be able to drop Zealots and then warp in even more units as a Colossus is currently being trained. The Warp Prism, gotta watch it over here as we also have this drop up on the high ground. Siege tanks should be sieging up in just a moment, and who will be able to deal even more damage. The Marines do not have combat shields, they do not have stim pack, and now straight in comes a drop into the mineral line over here. Jinro losing a lot of his SCVs already. Hellions now trying to come over, SCVs trying to fight back, and now we see more Marines coming in over here. Quick scanner sweep revealing the Observer, and the Observer now has been taken down, so this one Banshee should be able to get even more damage in. Jinro was able to repel off that Warp Prism as the Viking now trying to give chase over here. That one Warp Prism will get shot down relatively easily as there are Hellions over here. We may have another elevator drop coming in just a moment, and Jinro cleaning up the Warp Prism, able to just minimize the amount of damage from that one drop there. We do see a Colossus now coming in, so the Colossus now trying to come in, trying to clean up many of those Marines. That is going to be very, very difficult as those siege tanks are now trying to blast away. Perhaps the Banshee should probably deal damage towards this one Colossus. The Colossus now very low on hit points, down to 115, and I believe the Banshee was taken out of the sky. Yeah, it has been taken down, but there are no SCVs in this location in order to repair these siege tanks. So the siege cliff will only be able to stop the mining from this one Vespene Geyser, and that is pretty much it. Already 6 kills and 2 kills on these 2 siege tanks, causing a little bit of problems for Mana. A fresh Observer will be coming up in just a moment, and as a new Colossus will be able to get within range, I believe the Colossi will be able to just simply swipe in and finish this fight off. So yeah, the Immortal getting within combat range first, soaking up with that Hardened Shield. A really, really great job there. And that drop and that siege cliff has been cleaned up, but now in comes another medevac with more Hellions, and those Hellions may simply just drop straight into this location here. There are a lot of pylons though, so those pylons are going to cause a little bit of problems for those Hellions to be able to really do any serious dropping there. Now trying to drop in, getting a lot of kills already. So there we go, more Hellions now trying to pull in, getting a lot more kills, and wow, the probes are just simply falling down to 34 probes already. And now an emergency evac pickup, able to pull away with that one medevac. Stalker's now coming back down into this location here. I believe that medevac's days are numbered. As it's gonna go back off to the north. So going back off to the north, is there? Yes, the Colossus will be able to gain sight, able to see up onto that high ground, and now a Stalker should be able to get into here or here and shoot it down. Both sides now attempting or establishing their third base already. Jinro a little bit greedy, getting another orbital command instead of a planetary fortress. He may upgrade this command center to a planetary fortress in order to try to hold it off, but there really hasn't been any serious engagements yet. It's only been minor harassment back and forth, and I believe if we had to talk just about pure minor harassment, Jinro has the lead against Mana. Mana is currently sitting on 39 probes. He is trying to double train up more and more probes in order to get back into this game, economically speaking. He will not be able to saturate this all too easily. I actually spoke too soon, as there's not too many probes left over here. A couple idle probes here, but nothing too much, not too many probes that is going to make that much of a difference. A quick scanner sweep revealing, does it reveal a Templar Archives? I do not know. Does not reveal a Templar Archives. It does reveal that something is being chrono boosted there, and now in comes that Viking. The Viking able to spot the Templar Archives as we now have an engagement here. Zealots chasing after, and now in comes a Banshee. Once again, the Banshee may be able to get some damage. No, there is one Observer in that army right there. Very, very difficult to spot everything in that army, as that Banshee perhaps should try to go after this Nexus here and clean up some of those probes. Hellions now testing the waters. Colossus able to get a lot of damage in, and there is currently some Vikings as well. Stalker Blink now coming in as those Vikings want to try to take down those Colossus. Marines still do not have stim pack or combat shield, so very, very naked Marines there. As these siege tanks, massive number of siege tanks moving out, 17 siege tanks getting a lot of damage in, and if those units are not on a hold position, those would have just simply fallen to the barrage. 1-0 upgraded siege tanks as they continue to move out. Vikings still being trained. We should see double trained Vikings coming out in just a moment, as I did see a reactor. And now in comes the slow Terran push, similar to StarCraft Brood War. These siege tanks now simply playing hopscotch forward, each siege tank covering each other. And now that this Zelnaga tower is activated, these siege tanks have a very far sight range and has to be very careful as these stalkers try to move out. Zealots now trying to come in, Colossus now trying to come in as well. Both sides dealing a lot of damage. There are double point defense drone absorbing much of the damage coming in from those stalkers. Marines not able to fight back as well. Zealots now trying to run in once again, and those zealots are simply all cleaned up. So Zealots now trying to push in, and now there are more siege tanks here. However, those stalkers will be able to clean this up. And now both sides trying to exchange armies, and Mana really winning out on that fight as one Hellion or Banshee was quickly cleaned up there. Siege tanks once again on the move, slowly moving forward, and now Stalkers getting cleaned up even further. More Marines coming in from behind, so a straight macro play coming in from Jinro. Jinro realizing that he has a 5,000 mineral army, can probably simply attack move with the rest of his units, as long as he does not run into Psystorm. Psystorm should be coming online in just a moment, as we are getting that amulet research. Taking a look at the units, we are also getting a warp prism out somewhere, so if that warp prism is able to get some damage on perhaps the mineral line, then perhaps Mana will be able to get back into this game. Zealots quickly coming in, getting a lot of damage onto these Marines over here, and now this one expansion is going to get taken down, and Mana will be limited to mine off of one base, and that is going to be a severe problem. We now see that the Archons are being merged into play. They do not have any weapons upgrades, so that is going to be a problem, as they're only able to deal 25 damage per attack towards those siege tanks. One important thing to note, though, is that these Archons are not armored units, so Archons do not take 55 damage. They only take 38 damage from those siege tanks, so they are able to take a little bit of a beating compared to say Stalkers. We now see more Archons still being merged, and a little surprised that no Psystorm is being cast yet. Now a Psystorm up on that high ground probably would be very useful. One Psystorm, there we go, getting a lot of those Marines now getting cleaned up. Siege tanks not even in siege mode, attacking very quickly, able to deal a lot of damage towards those Immortals, towards those Archons. And now simply coming in, and Mana says GG. So a straight macro play coming in from LiquidJinro, able to overwhelm the Protoss Mana. If you take a look inside the base here, you can see 6 factories, so a lot of Terran mech play with Hellions, Blue Flame Hellions, and siege tanks. Didn't even bother with Thors in this matchup, and was able to train up a lot of Marines. All those Marines were trained off of one barracks with a reactor, and those Marines really did the job that they were designed for, or deal damage towards those Zealots. Zealots, when they get within that 0 combat range on those siege tanks, and the siege tanks are unable to deal damage towards those Zealots, the Marines were nearby. Even without stim pack, even without that combat shield, they were able to clean that up. The Hellions also did a very nice job controlling the amount of macro that Mana could do. Normally Protoss players are able to macro up a very large army of, say, Colossi, Void Rays, Immortals, but because of very effective drops and very effective Banshee harassment, the Banshee harassment coupled with those Hellion drops slowed down Mana's economy enough so that he was unable to build that much. You can see, take a look at the spending. Jinro is spending about 3,000 more minerals on his army than Mana, and that's what ultimately gave him the win. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between MouzMana and LiquidJinro here on Lost Temple.